Cool earbuds, good ANC, but some quirks. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out these. These are the Monolith by Monoprice M-TWE ANC Earbuds. I suppose I should take one out so you can see what they look like. They have what's called a button design, so it sits in your ear, and then the end of it is actually a tiny little touch panel that gives you access to various tap and swipe controls. We'll come back to that. Let me tell you about them. So they're powered by 10mm neodymium drivers, which give you a solid 20 to 20,000 hertz. They're running Bluetooth 5.0, which is good stuff. Look for that Bluetooth 5.0 because it gets rid of all of those annoying left doesn't know about the right or any of that stuff. It gives you more reliable connectivity to the source device and better range. All good. They support aptX and AAC, so you're going to get the best possible sound out of Android, Windows, Mac, iPhones, iPads. Whatever you're going to pair this with, you're going to get really good sound. Hybrid ANC, also really good. Active noise canceling is a great thing, but it's also great to be able to temporarily turn it off if you're, for example, on an airplane and the flight attendant has just walked up and asked what beverage you'd like. So to do that, you tap and hold for just a couple of seconds on the touch surface, and then it tells you ANC off, and you can hear all that background noise suddenly comes back. You talk, you have your conversation, you tap and hold it again, all the background noise goes and diminishes again, ANC for the win, and you're back on your listening. So 10 hours of playtime on the earbuds, 2 more charges on the case. It's a little bit big as cases go, but not horribly so. So that gives you 30 hours of listening. And if you put it in for 5 minutes, you're going to get another hour of charge. On the back is USB-C, and that is how you charge it. No wireless charging. And it does have indicator lights on the earbuds to give you their battery level. And then on the case, there's one tiny LED that has different flashing sequences to show you how charged it is. That's one of my least favorite features, particularly when you're charging it and you have it like this. There's no indication on the outside that it's charging or that it's fully charged. I would much prefer to see a bunch of LEDs on the front that give me a quick and immediate visual feedback on what's going on with that charge level. Now, with these as earbuds, if you want to use them for a phone call or something, that's totally fine. They have built-in microphones, and they're using the Qualcomm CVC 8.0 circuitry, which gives you echo cancellation, and it will drop the ambient noise down so your voice stands out a little more. I'm going to give you a demo of that in just a second. Works pretty well. The reality is this style of earbud has a long way to go to get your voice, because your voice isn't projecting like that. Your voice is projecting forward. So I found I had to talk fairly loud for it to work. Most interestingly, they use an app called SoundID, and I would show you and demo that on my phone, but it's interesting because if I have SoundID running and I have my phone, this is an iPhone 13 Pro, if it's recording the screen, then the sound turns off. Never experienced that before. As soon as I turn off that recording, the sound comes back and everything works perfectly well. So there's something quirky going on there. I can, however, show you some screenshots. So here is SoundID on its home screen, and you can see you start out by doing a sound test to sort of have it fine-tune what you like to hear, and that's pretty interesting. It's much like being at the optometrist where you have A and B. Which one sounds better, A or B? And you can switch back and forth, pick the one you like, go to the next pair, and then when you're done, it's built a personalized sound profile for you, and that works pretty well. You can go and do a personal EQ. I found that to be pretty clumsy, and it literally only gives you bass and treble, so there's, not like 6 or 10 or however many different areas you can sort of fine-tune what you want to hear, because the app's really designed to sort of do that for you. Now, you can also go in and look at the characteristics of your earbuds, and because Monolith signed up with the app company, then it knows about these particular units, and it can also give you some tutorial information. That's pretty slick. So let me actually put them in, and it says power on. You turn them just gently to get them to fit properly in your ear. That's the left one, and the right one says power on, and they're both good to go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first off confirm that it's working, because you never know. I'm going to just play some music super quick. Soundtrack from Stranger Things. Pretty sweet sound there. I'll come back to the sound in just a second, but what I want to do is I want to demo how it picks up my voice. So I'm going to switch audio, and now you're hearing my voice as recorded through these on my phone, and you can hear it sounds pretty darn different, and I'm talking a little louder than I was just to make sure it picks me up. So with that in mind, let me switch back to the regular microphone. And I find the sound to be okay, but like I said, I actually feel like I have to talk a little louder for the person on the other end to hear me. That was my experience on some phone calls and such, which is really sort of characteristic of this design style. One of the advantages that designs like the Apple AirPods Pro or AirPods have is by having that stem coming down, they put the mic near the end and it's better at picking up your voice. So that's just something to know. But I find most people that have these sort of units end up listening 99% of the time, and they're on like a quick phone call, and if it's something they need to be on for a while, they'll either find an environment where they can talk louder, or they'll just switch to talking on their phone directly. And all of that's super easy to work with. Now, they're also IPX4 water resistant, so don't swim with these. That'd be a bad idea anyway. But if you're out for a run and you end up having it rain, or you're a little sweaty or something, that's okay. They stay in pretty well, not fantastically, but I found that they definitely were fine in terms of me walking around and doing various chores around the house and such. I never had an issue with getting loose or falling out. So let's talk about what's in the box, and then I'm going to come back and talk just a little bit about that touch interface, because that's something we should explore. So the box is a very nice design, very easy to work with, and on the top here, it tells you that you have a charging cable and soft pouch. So let's see what's in here. Like I said, it's a USB-C charging, so we expect a USB-C charging cable, and it feels like it's inside the pouch. So this is sort of a soft fabric pouch, not a mock leather or anything. I'm not sure who needs a pouch when they have something like this, because I feel like the case is going to be what you're going to travel with by itself. Here's that USB-A, the rectangle, to USB-C charging cable. Obviously very important, though honestly, you probably already have a bunch of them. And then here's a set of ear tips. It comes with 5 different sizes of ear tips. So let's see what those look like. So there's already one on the earbuds, and unusually so. The default ones actually worked just fine for me. I usually find I have to go to larger sizes, but this one works fine. And then in here, you have extra small, small, large, and extra large. So these, the default ones, are the mediums, which makes sense. So you have all those different choices. Take the time to find the right ones for your ears, because that will make a significant difference with the ANC in particular, but it will also bring out a lot more bass. There's a very nice looking manual that also shows you how to use the app. So that's everything in the box. Let's sort of pack things back up a little bit. You can tell why I don't work in their factory packing up boxes, but that's okay. So that's what we got. And these are the earbuds. So 2 things I want to talk about now is, number 1, I want to talk about the touch interface, because it works pretty well. And here's a little cheat sheet so you can see some of the things you can do when you're listening to music. But what's missing? Do you notice? There's no next and previous track. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why they didn't design it that way. So since you have that swipe up and swipe down to adjust the volume, I'm not sure why they didn't do swipe forward and swipe back to change tracks. It might be that there just isn't that level of granularity on the sensors, but something that would let you change tracks would be reasonably nice. Now, to be entirely fair, when I have these sort of earbuds in my ears, I almost never actually touch the earbuds. I just use the source device, because that's generally just a foot or 2 away. But if you want all those controls, you should know that it doesn't have next and previous track. Awkward. Now, the other thing to talk about is the sound quality, and I found they sounded really good. They have a big, rich sound, and you get, certainly with my sound signature designed from SoundID, I got a lot of bass. When I was just listening to the Stranger Things soundtrack, man, it is a big, rich sound, but there's a little bit of detail I found was missing. It's a little hard to sort of quantify this, but there's a precision and clarity that you get on really high-end earbuds and really high-end headphones that these just felt a little bit were lacking in that area. Now, for most people, I'm sorry, for the vast majority of people, it is totally not anything you'll ever notice. You'll put these in, you'll crank up your tunes, you'll say, man, these sound great. Then you'll turn on the ANC and they'll sound even better, and that's great. So, good soundstage, good experience of listening. There's a nice spatial sense to them. They're comfortable. They're certainly comfortable for listening for hours, and that 10 hours of charge per earbud is pretty sweet. So there's lots I like about these. There's a couple of those quirks. Like I said, I don't understand the previous next track lacking, and I don't understand how they designed the little LED feedback light for your charge level. But really, those are the biggest things. Other than that, these are a solid option, which means we need to talk about the price. But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate that. A click or a tap on that subscribe button, and we're connected. Great. These are the Monolith by Monoprice M-TWE ANC Earbuds, and they're $99. No, actually right now when I checked, they're down to $83.99 at Amazon.com. These are a solid option in the sub $100 price range. The ANC works really well. If you're going to spend a lot of time on phone calls, you might want to look at some other possibilities. But otherwise, if you're just looking for a really good audio experience with solid ANC, these are a definite contender. That's all I got. I think I'm going to go back to Stranger Things, which means I'll have to catch you in my next video.